At the top of a page, we write out 5 universal needs. The 5 universal needs are stability, affirmation, hope, compassion, and trust. At the bottom of the page, we have 3 levels of followers: compliant, committed, and way over here on the far right, a very small group of loyal.
Yeah.
If a compass is a device to provide direction, let me give you 4 compass points, but it's from the follower standpoint, not the leadership standpoint.
Okay.
4 circles, diagonal. The lower left hand is what? We label it what? David, Tim, Joe, Mary, Linda, we go to work for a company and we're assigned to what? This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You came from a world where if you don't hit your sales result, we're going to miss you.
Yeah.
Right? I went to work for where if I didn't hit a market share, we'll see you next time because we've got 3 other people lined up behind you that can do your job.
Yeah.
Whether it's the number of widgets you have to produce or the production that you have to yield or whatever it might be, there's always a what. The what is the reason you're hired.
Yeah.
And more often than not, people, when they go to work, have an idea of what the what is. So what's leaders' role in that? Well, unfortunately, for a lot of companies, here it is. Nothing. Nothing. You deliver the what. That's all we want.
Yep.
Deliver the what. What does your manager, your coach, your supervisor do? Well, let's see. Classic example, I was working as a consultant with a medical sales group, and they said, we want to take a look at what our line leaders are doing. So I asked the medical rep, you have I think theirs was a district manager, he or she comes to work with you. What do they do when they work with you? Well, they tell me whether or not I'm hitting my goal. Did you not know that before they came? Yeah, I knew it. So what are they doing to help you? Well, they don't do really anything. They just tell me if I'm 75% or 85% or 90%. So what's their contribution? Well, they occupy space in the front of the car. How committed are you to this company? Not very. I wonder why. If you have leaders, supervisors, managers, CEOs, vice presidents whose total focus is just the what, at best you'll have compliant followers. But there's a higher level of leadership. There are some managers, supervisors, VPs that actually say, in addition to that first circle, what, second circle is how. So when I work with you, let's talk about how we can achieve our goals. Let's talk about what the goals are, whatever they might be. Let's share feedback. Let me give you some opinion. Let me help you realize your goal. So coming from the industry that you come from, if you have a manager that helps with the how and not just focused on the what, does that make a difference?
Oh, I would run through walls. I would work for free for them. Yeah, I really would, because that to me, especially in the healthcare world, if you're committed, we're aligned. We have shared purpose, and together we can accomplish a lot. You could find that from people outside of your managers. You could find it from colleagues. You can even find it from customers. Some of the closest customers I ever had helped me get there. So yeah, that meant everything to me. It was hard to find though.
Yeah. Well, you just said a couple things that are powerful. A lot of people assume that leadership is a title. It has to have a title fixed to it. It's anything but.
Yeah.
Leadership is influence.
Agreed.
You can be a senior sales representative in company A and you're helping people around you. I got news for you. Even if the manager is not worth anything, if you've got someone with seniority that will help you, that's the leader.
Yeah.
That's what you want. So when we talk about those first 2 circles, what and how, leaders, whether they have title or not, that influence the how, in many cases are people pushing people from compliance to commitment, and that's great. But I mentioned I studied elite leaders. What is it that they do? This is third circle stuff. Third circle stuff is not just what and how, but why.
Yeah.
And that's a difference maker. If we were to draw a line down the center of this chart, the line would be from top to bottom. It would distinguish between the how and the why, because to the left, that's the domain of managers. They're efficient.
Yeah.
They handle things, controlling, planning, staffing, directing, organizing. But now when you go over to the why, you've entered a whole new realm. Now you're in the realm of leadership. And great leaders can convey the why in such a way that you realize, I'm realizing my purpose, the company can realize their purpose, and together we both achieve more. When I went to work for that little company all those years ago, there came a leader who at one point said to me, Tim, I realize you have 3 passions. You love the study of leadership. You seem to be very interested in this notion of communication, and you're a compulsive learner. the learning piece probably because I was so far behind, but he said, if you stay here, as this company grows, you're going to realize all those things. That why is going to grow and grow and grow. And then I still remember when I was a couple years with the organization on some kind of a launch team working dawn to dusk on the road all the time, on a Saturday morning, I get a phone call from our founder. He's a billionaire. He calls me and says, hey, I just want you to know what you're doing is making such a difference.
Yeah.
I want you to know I personally appreciate it. I'm going to remember what you're doing, and together we're gonna do something amazing. David, if I could have, I would have jumped out of bed in my underwear and worked the rest of the weekend to drive demand for that guy.
Yeah.
Now, he probably called 20 people that morning. Didn't make any difference.
Yeah.
My why was aligned with his. It's like John Kennedy after he did the famous, we're going to land a man on the moon and return him safely.
Yeah.
The next year, 1962, he's at NASA, and he sees an old man pushing a mop, and he walks away from the crowd and he says, excuse me, sir, I'm John Kennedy. What do you do here? And the old man said, well, Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon.
I love that.
I did too.
I love that.
That's a classic example.
Yeah.
So I figured, all right, I got it now. Great leaders advance from the what to the how to the why. But then there's another ingredient. These higher emotions of compassion and trust. The only time you ever see an elite leader, he or she has not just done the what and the how and the why. They've advanced to the who. They've let you know who they are, and in turn, they know who you are. They've been vulnerable enough to say, I care about you, I understand you, I know what's important, and it's important to me, and there's an alignment. Those higher needs of compassion and trust, you can't give those to a company. Those are distinctively human emotions.
Yeah.
That's the power of the who. And that's where you finally get, in some cases, that's where you finally get loyalty.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in my opinion, less than 5% of leaders ever get there.
Thank you guys for listening to In Search of a Leader. Be on the lookout for more episodes to come. Make sure to follow us on social.
For more information, go to insearchofaleader.com.